was a little kid, my cousin came over to our house with his kung fu team, and they were going to some tournament. And I have one of these little plastic swords, the little white X cross-section swords with the big bobbin on the end. And they snapped that right away. Those things were terrible. They would break all the time. And I was upset, of course, but then they showed me a real sword, and I was impressed, and I was like, I want to get into this. My earliest memory as a martial artist was when I was 5 or 6 and going up for my yellow belt exam in judo. And it was just me and the sensei and the sensei's assistant and my parents. And so I do this test, and I remember I had to do a shoulder throw on the head sensei, and he was a big fire plug of a man. I was a little kid, and so he eventually let me throw him, but I remember I rolled over with him with the throw. I got my belt in the end, but yeah, that's my earliest memory. I knew it was a serious profession when I accepted the job to work on Kung Fu Tai Chi magazine, and eventually became publisher there. Prior to that, I was teaching. I was writing, doing a lot of freelance writing. I was importing weapons from China. I was antique weapons. I was making swords for theater. All sorts of different kinds of freelance gig jobs. But when I took the position with the magazine, that became a regular salary position, and that's when I knew it was something solid, like a real thing. The movies that influenced me the most were the golden era of Kung Fu movies in the 70s from Shaw Brothers Studios and Golden Harvest. Those films, particularly the wuxia genre, were just amazing. Period films, fantasies, superhero stuff. T-Lung, Alexander Fusheng, Gordon Liu, those were my guys. I mean, of course, there was Bruce Lee, and I was impressed by him, of course, but it was really those classic Kung Fu movies that won my heart. I have a daily practice of Qigong in some basic forms, actually. When I train at the Academy of Martial and General Arts, which is run by my elder Kung Fu brother, Sifu Ted Mancuso. And there I follow the general class and then kind of do my own thing. He gives me a lot of leeway, which is very generous of him. Also help him coach a little bit. It's a very open practice. It really depends. I mean, if my master's coming to town, I tend to get a lot more serious. But nowadays, it's mostly, in my age, maintenance. I'm not competing. I get competing, good Lord, I mean, over a quarter century ago. So, and I don't perform. So it's just my own personal practice. It's what I do for me. I think the most misunderstood thing about the martial arts is that we have this image of the movies, and that we're going to be going to Hans Island and busting drug dealers or fighting off armies, and it's really not solely about the combat. It's a way of life. It gives you skills to be healthy, to have good situational awareness. But even just sort of basic skills on, how to use a knife and cut bread without cutting your hand. Very mundane things. Those kind of the applications are the ones that I think are really the most important. I've seen a lot of martial arts being in my position at the magazine for over 20 years. So the most unbelievable thing, I mean, the go-to would be Iron Crotch. I've seen multiple Iron Crotch guys lift and pull trucks and lift weights, and I've kicked an Iron Crotch master, and he lifted up his covering and showed me that I was kicking him. There was no trickery there. But I've seen so many things. I've seen people do massages without touching their clients, their patients. I've seen I've seen guys that could split lighters, like big lighters with nunchucks, where they would first take a piece off of it. It would take it apart in pieces, take a piece off of it, take the lighter part off, and then smash it. Crazy stuff. There's really too many strange things I've seen in the martial arts to really nail down what was the most unbelievable. For a new practitioner, I think the most important thing is to practice regularly. Touch it every day, even if you don't go full out, but every day you got to do a little bit. And so find a studio that's near you, that's not a big hassle to get to, that's location, and train with somebody. You can only get so far on your own. Even if that coach is not, or master is not, Mr. Miyagi. You need that balance. You need somebody in the tradition to bring you along. Otherwise, you'll waste a lot of time going down the wrong routes, and you'll never reach your full potential.